Well, an interesting lineup here. Great deal of experience and a little bit of youth as well coming through this group of 8 women's vaulters. Well, just been through their introductions. I can tell you that the top qualifier, Jayla Hang from the United States of America, scored a 13.783 through qualification, and teammate Claire Pease sits in second through qualification with a 13.584. The 2 Americans are 1 and 2. And Hang will go second in the order. Pease will go last. Just going through their final warm-ups, the top 4. And that's Bengisu Yildiz, who we've just seen, the 18-year-old from Turkey. Jayla Hang wearing 246. Hungarian Greta Muyer will be in the top 4 as well, along with Chusovitina from Slovenia. Just going through their final preparations here. Part of the new group of USA athletes coming through. The USA athletes tend to vault with higher levels of difficulty than the rest of the field, so often it comes down to their execution. Hang, you have to say, through qualification, her execution scores were exquisite, 9.033 on her first vault with a difficulty of 5, and then on a second vault with a difficulty of 4.2, she scored a 8.933. Picked up a couple of bonus points as well. Moya, 18 years old, from Hungary. From Dunaújváros. Roughly translated to New City on the Danube, just a little ways down from Budapest. Kasia Kiselef from Ljubljana. She's having a really good season, veteran of 7 World Championships. Last one was back in 2021. Career has been somewhat plagued by injury, but you never underestimate her. Let's not forget, she got the bronze medal at the last World Cup in Baku just a couple of weeks back on the vault. Get ready for double the excitement. The women's vault is about to get underway with 2 attempts to showcase their explosive power and technique. 8 athletes vie for a place on the Antalya World Cup podium. And starting us off, Bengisu Yildiz from Turkey. Thought it'd be the first part of gymnastics, the vault, and Tal's performing a leap over a shape that's designed to resemble a horse. As you would have seen, they gather a bit of speed before using the springboard to launch themselves into the air, performing a variety of airborne twists and saltos. They have to do different vaults from two different families, and what that basically translates into is where the hands are on the approach as they hit the vault. One forwards, one backwards will get them bonus points. Hilda's got an overall score of 13.017 through qualification. All-round national champion on the for Turkey last year in Istanbul. That's a floor and beam champion. This has vault medals in the World Challenge Cup series, none at the World Cups. Nervy times in between the two vaults as the athletes wait for their scores to come through. Got to maintain their focus on their second jump, of course. They can't go until the score comes in. So 13 on the nose. Bodes well for Benizu Eldes to outperform her qualification vaults. High difficulty on this one in qualification. Just didn't quite nail the landing. She looked solid through the run-up. Hands are in a good position, but she just couldn't quite complete the final rotation. It's just not quite enough amplitude. Wanted to be a little bit springier off the board. Well, the draw for this final has put the lowest qualifier, Benizu Ildiz, up first. Top qualifier goes next, Jayli Yang, and overall a 12.367. USA Today voted Bellevue, Washington as the best place to live in the United States of America. That's where Jayla Hang is from. She'll be hoping Antalya is a pretty good place to live as well. 17-year-old is the 2022 USA national champion on the vault. Making her senior World Cup debut here in Turkey. She couldn't have asked for a better start. So putting in the higher difficulty vault first, as she did in qualification. Scored 14.033 in qualification, just a little bit lower in the final, but you can understand a 17-year-old might be feeling a little nervous. Concentration required for this vault now. Oh, she looks pretty happy with that, and I'm not surprised. Well, 12.367 the score to beat. I think we can safely be in the knowledge that Hang is going to do that. Question is, what's the margin going to be? Well, 13.667, just a fraction down from her qualification score of 13.783, but good enough to go top of the pile. Next up, Greta Moyer, 18-year-old from Hungary. Very good indeed. She's got a lot of experience, even though she's just 18 years old, has plenty of vault World Cup medals, a couple of World Championship caps. She was 4th at the last World Cup in Baku. Most of her international medals have come on the vault, but she got a bronze in the beam in Baku. Good height to complete that rotation. Just a little lower than first vault in qualification, but she's going for something just a little bit more complex. So she did in qualification, slightly more difficult second vault. Oh, she's nailed that pretty well as well. Just a little adjustment on the landing. That they're looking for were there. Hands hitting the vault in a good place. Tidiness in the flight. Straight legs through rotation. Stability on landing. Not bad at all, just a little half step. She's 13.167, moves her up into provisional second place as Chashir Kiselev of Slovenia, 31-year-old, prepares for her first vault. Shorter run up. She's certainly got the height she needed. Legs just a little untidy through the rotations. And a big old step to keep the balance. Just dropped the difficulty for a second vault in qualification, but with that her execution came down a little bit and she got a couple of penalty points. So execution absolutely critical here. It's good enough for provisional second place at the moment for Kiselev. Well, she's happy with that. She's very happy with that. Can Kiselev get back-to-back podiums in the vault? These World Cups. Bronze in Baku just a couple of weeks ago. Big old leap off the springboard. Let's get her hands right out in front of her. Got her around through the twist and the rotations really well. Solid landing. Is it going to be enough to threaten the podium? She can't wait to get that score in. A 13.367, enough for second spot at the moment. So halfway through the women's vault, Yang of the United States of America leading with a 13.667 from Kiselev of Slovenia's 13.367, with Moyer of Hungary in third place with 13.167. Second rotation, getting warmed up, 16-year-old Hawaiian, Claire Pease, in shot, going through her final preparation. Very composed. Hofer from Liechtenstein, just 17 years old. She's not really too worried about the landing there. Absolutely lovely to have a Lithuanian athlete here making her World Cup debut and making the finals as a result of it. Here's an interesting athlete. Pranati Nayak, an Olympian from India, 28-year-old from Jhargram in West Bengal. It's a little bit of an all or nothing athlete. Execution scores in qualification were a little bit low. But if she can nail her vaults here in the final, she could threaten the podium. 2019 Indian all-around national champion. Nayak, one to look out for. And quite caught sight of the most famous in the lineup for the second rotation just yet. 5-time Olympian, waiting in the wings somewhere. So the women's vault will continue with Liechtenstein's Julia Weissenhofer. Liechtenstein athlete, just 17 years old, making her World Cup debut, scored a 13.050 in qualification. Keeping it simple. If you keep it simple, you have to make sure you execute. Not the highest of difficulties through qualification, 3.8 and a 4.4 level of difficulty for her 2 vaults, but she nailed them. Legs just a little bit bent through the rotation. Either a pike nor a tuck. Somewhere in between. And that is the result. The difficulty going down to 3.8, same as qualification. She went a little higher with her second vault, 4.4 difficulty in qualification. Happy to make it through her first final on her World Cup debut. You can see the anxiety on her face. She made her approach. The anxiety turned to determination, and it paid off. Big adjustment on landing, but fabulous to see Julia Weissenhofer representing Liechtenstein here at the Antalya World Cup in the women's vault. "13 dead" is a very solid performance from Julia Weissenhofer. It hasn't threatened the podium here. We go from a new beginning to someone who's been around the block for a while. Just shy of her 50th birthday. This is the legend that is Oksana Chusovitna from Uzbekistan. A 5-time Olympian, vault silver at Beijing 2008. She's still got it. A remarkable career where she's considered retirement on a number of occasions, but it just doesn't stick. Unbelievable for a 49-year-old. She competed as well as for Uzbekistan. Back to that in a second. She competed for Germany and the Soviet Union as well. Team gold for the unified team at the Barcelona 1992 Olympics. Silver for Germany in Beijing 2008. And the reason that she's not decided to retire is because she wants to get medals for Uzbekistan, her third nation that she's represented. .13.467. That's going to challenge Yang. Vault number 2 then for Oksana Chusovitina. Well, very good indeed. Now this could prove a threat to the podium here. She's got a gold in Baku, bronze in Cottbus, so it should come as no surprise that at the third World Cup she could be going after a third vault medal. .13.467 vault number 1. And just look at the respect around this gymnastics hall from everyone involved in the competition. Coaches, athletes. You're in the presence of majesty. .13.367. The same score as Kiselev. As we move straight on to Pranati Nayak. Pretty decent first vault. Hypercritical, just a little loss of form at the end of the vault. Did well to stick the landing when he's so bent. Good start, that really is. She's the penultimate athlete to go as well, so if she could sneak into second, she's guaranteed herself a medal here. Oh, well done indeed, Pranati Nayak. The Indian Olympian is an all-or-nothing athlete, and she has put it all down here in Antalya. 13.367 or above will guarantee the Indian a podium here in Antalya. Form not spot on, but she got through it. 13.6 with her first vault. The second vault may not be quite as high as that, but could be enough for a place on the podium here in Antalya. Top score at the moment from Yang, 13.667, and a 13.417 is enough to guarantee at least a bronze medal for Pranati Nayak of India. Now, Claire Pease to the party, the second athlete from the USA, just 16 years old. Won't be looking to cause a stir here. Second through qualification with a 13.584. Nervy moments though for the teenager. Correction on landing, but pretty good. Got a 13.867 at our first vaulting qualification. Difficulty score is going to be right up there, as we know, with the USA female athletes. In terms of form, you've got to give it to her. The legs were together and straight. Wow, look at that. That is some start. It's just a little shy of Yang's first vault. Now, in qualification, Claire Pease just let herself down a little bit in her second vault, and I'm being super critical here. She dropped to a 12.9. Oh, but she has put that one on the money. Now is the top of the podium at threat here. Yang sitting on 13.667. Sits at the top at the moment. The American trailed by Nayak of India with a 13.417. Two Americans on their World Cup debut at 16 and 17 years old could well walk away from Antalya with vault gold and silver. Has the Hawaiian 16-year-old done enough here to erupt onto the world stage? (13.567) is enough for second place for Claire Pease of the USA. She hasn't quite toppled her teammate Jayla Yang from the top spot. Here are the classified results. USA top with Hang from Pease, gold and silver going to the United States of America. But what a vault, a couple of vaults from Pranati Nayak of India to secure. So the contenders for the women's uneven bars, two Chinese athletes, two United States of American athletes as well. And three of those four are the ones that we need to look out for. Yang Fan Yuwei from People's Republic of China led qualification with a 14.8 dead. Teammate Tian Zhuo Fan second with 14.233. Claire Pease, who we've already seen on the vault, 16-year-old Hawaiian, third, but some way back at 13.5. We get two of the top three qualifiers going through in the first rotation, including both the Chinese athletes. Not the cleanest dismount there for Yang Fan Yuwei. Also out in the first rotation, we'll have Lucia Hribar, the Olympian from Slovenia. His brother has already taken a medal in this section, wearing 252. Going through her warm-up rituals. Fourth out will be Nazli Savran-Bashi, the athlete from Turkey, who's competed at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. She's fifth on the uneven bars at the Baku World Cup. Silver for Hribar here in Baku. So she'll be looking to challenge. Number of elements the coaches are looking out for. The judges will be scoring. Swingfulness. Is it crisp, pretty, silky? Does it look nice or is it laboured? Don't want any stops, falls or hesitations. They're no-nos. Extension of the legs is going to get you good scores. Angles. Where do the gymnasts finish their pirouettes? Close to 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock? They're not there or thereabouts, they'll get deductions. And then we're looking out for combinations and then the transitions between the bars, of course. Nazli Savran-Bashi, the Turkey athlete, just waiting for the apparatus to be secured before she goes through her warm-up. It's a question really of can any of the contenders here challenge the two Chinese athletes. Savran-Bashi scored a 12.967 in qualification. Can she get that mark up? She's going to need to. A beautiful display of flow and elegance combined with incredible athleticism. The women's uneven bars are ready to thrill us here in Antalya at the third World Cup of the season. The first out from Yunnan, the 20-year-old from the People's Republic of China, Yang Fan Yu-Wei. Making her World Cup debut, qualified first at the 2024 Antalya World Challenge Cup. Finished 6th here last year. The event's been upgraded to a World Cup. And Yang is going to get the action underway. So Fang ready to begin the women's uneven bars here at the Antalya World Cup. The competition begins. So remember, we're looking for smooth transitions, solid rotations. The aesthetic elements tell a big story when it comes to this particular piece of apparatus. Wow, it's a solid start. You have to say, Yang Fan Yuwei, whilst we have no benchmark at the moment, provided us with a routine of beauty and smoothness, accuracy. Very little to criticize there. Is the difficulty rating as high as her 6.6 in qualification? She ended up with a 14.8. The pleasure of looking back at it. So next out, Lucia Riba, Olympian from Paris, specialist in the uneven bars. Silver at the last World Cup. She's going for gold here in Antalya. Again, it comes down to this difficulty level. Had a difficulty of 5 through qualification, execution mark of 8.06. Not the highest, but certainly not the lowest. And it's only good enough for second place at the moment at 12.934. not enough to topple Yang from the top. Second of our Chinese contenders now, Tian Fan, just 16 years old, making her first international outing here in Antalya. So Tian Fan targeting her teammates' benchmark at the top of the order in the women's uneven bars. Beautiful reverse transition through to the higher bar there for the 16-year-old. Just a little corrective step at the end. Coach happy with Tian's performance. And for sure the People's Republic of China will be targeting the top 2 spots in this women's uneven bars competition. The transition back from the low bar to the high bar was particularly nice to watch. Not quite up at 12 o'clock. That was the transition that was absolutely stunning. And the dismount pretty good. Just that little corrective step. Well, quite a big corrective step, I should say. So only enough for second place at the moment. But 13.867 is a little bit of a drop from the 14.233 that she got in qualification. Now Turkiye's Nazli Savranbashi. 5th at the last World Cup on the uneven bars. She has taken gold in the uneven bars here in Turkey, in Mersin in 2019 when the World Challenge Cup was held there. '20 Turkish all-around champion. Looks calm and steady. Big step on the dismount, but pretty nice from Savranbashi. That could be enough to move her up into 3rd. That'll be after the first rotation. We still have Pease and Yang for the United States to come out, along with Sij and Guerra from Hungary and Mexico. They begin their warm-ups. We take a look back at Savranbashi's performance on home soil. The Olympic rings, testament to her appearance at the delayed Olympic Games of Tokyo 2020. Different experience that would have been for this Turkiye athlete compared to competing here on home soil in Antalya. Empty stadiums there in Tokyo, certainly not the case here in Antalya. (12.934) the score to beat to get onto the provisional podium. And it's not quite enough. So medal prospects gone for Nazli Savranbashi in the women's uneven bars. Jayla Hang just going through her final preparations as she will go in the second rotation, the 6th athlete to go. So her teammate goes out a couple of places after her. Paulina Guerra from Mexico, competing for Mexico. First time at an FIG event. Claire Pease, USA also going. She'll be the last athlete out. And this is Ameshe Sic, 15-year-old. Pease looks really composed. She's just 16, remember, the Hawaiian. So the athletes just going through their final prep for this second rotation. Ameshe Sic, she scored a 12.567 in qualification to qualify 7th. Finished 11th at the Baku World Cup on the uneven bars. 9th in the beam, in the balance beam. And of course, if you are wondering when we'll see the balance beam, well, that will happen in our second day of live coverage from Antalya tomorrow, where we have 5 more events to come. Men's vault, women's balance beam, men's parallel bars, women's floor and men's horizontal bar to come tomorrow. And of course, we've got one more event to come after the women's uneven bars today, and that is the men's rings. So if you are just joining us, then we're watching the warm-up for the second rotation of the women's uneven bars here at the Antalya Artistic Gymnastics World Cup. Ameshe Ada Sic from Hungary just going through her last couple of rotations of the bars ahead of the conclusion of this women's competition. So the 1, 2, 3 at the halfway stage. Yang from the People's Republic of China ahead of her teammate Tian, and it's 3 bar of Slovenia sitting in 3rd place. But 4 more to come, and Fast up, it's the youngest member of the field from Dunaújváros in Hungary. It will be the 15-year-old Mese Ada Siege. So solid through the landing. She's waiting for her scores. (12.934) to get onto the provisional podium. And it's not quite enough. 14.800 from Yang. Nearly a full point up from the next best. What can Jayla Hang do about this? The Bellevue, Washington State resident, just 17 years old. She only got a 12.833 in qualification. She's going to have another crack at it right now. Oh, and that's not going to help. Just got away from her a little bit. What a shame. But let's not forget, just 17 years old. If you like, the pressure's off a little bit now, and she can just go through her routine as though it was a training exercise. And that's a difficult transition from the low bar to the high bar. She winds it up for the dismount. Not bad at all. The fall will rule her out of contention. We wait for the confirmation of the final scores for Jayla Hang. Can pretty safely say that Yang has confirmed her place on the podium, with 2 athletes left to go. The worst she can finish is with bronze. Got to give it to Jayla Hang, having had the fall, knowing that the podium was out of reach. Could have let her head go down and forget about it. Coach intervening and saying, right, you got a chance to do this now with no pressure on you. Go out there and perform. You can then get an appreciation of what it's like to be in a high-pressured situation and learn from it without having all that pressure on you, because you know the medal's gone. Good coaching. got to wonder what's going through her head at the moment. Something along the lines of, get me out of here now. I know I've not got a medal. It's the last women's event of the day. I'm going to get myself down to the amphitheatre. Going to have a little sightseeing around the wonderful city of Antalya. Or perhaps have a little apple tea somewhere. It's good to see her soaking it up. Just 17, remember. Fledgling career that has already been decorated quite substantially. Vault gold at the National Championships, and there finally the score for 5th place as things stand. So now the Mexican Paulina Guerra, 24 years old, from Monterrey, originally competed for the United States of America, but switched to Mexico last year. Another disappointment there. Just got away from the bar a little bit. Getting straight back to the routine and wanting to land the dismount, because if you don't, you lose so many points. So more for the records than anything else, but can't see that challenging Yang or Tian at the moment, and I doubt it will get anywhere near 3 bar either. Was just caught onto that one, and then it was this transition, I believe, or this rotation that the fall came from right now. Just got a little bit away from the bar, but good on her to get back up and finish the dismount. Paulina Guerra from Mexico, competing for Mexico, awaiting her scores. Well, the fall and the difficulty levels contribute to an 11.367. So the last of the athletes coming out now, 16-year-old Hawaiian Claire Pease from the United States of America, 2024 US champion on the uneven bars, as well as the beam and the all-around, making a senior World Cup debut. Has already got herself a medal in the vault. What can she do on the bars? Those of the asymmetric variety. Looking to challenge the podium. She needs to beat 12.934. Looking solid. I fancy that Lucia Hribar may be a little nervous. I'm not sure it's enough to chase down Tian Zhuofan, the People's Republic of China athlete in silver medal position. But if it starts with a 13, this is a podium. Second one of the day, if she can get it, from Claire Pease. The second podium of the day for the Hribar family, if Lucia can stay in third position. Brother Ance has taken a medal in the men's floor event, silver medal in fact. I see a good deal of camaraderie between the two US athletes, and that really is the future of women's gymnastics in the United States of America. Pease and Hang, just 16 and 17 years old. Everybody nervously looking on. I think we can safely say that Yang Fan Yu-wei is unlikely to get moved from top position with a 14-8 dead with her uneven bars routine. Tian Zhuofan, also from the People's Republic of China, with a 13.867 clear in the silver medal position. And then it's Lucia Hribar, who's probably going to be the most nervous at a 12.934. Could get threatened by Claire Pease right here. Pease just taking it in her stride. Tian on the phone with her US competitors right next to her. Perhaps they're trying to order their dinner. It's amazing how Claire Pease can stay so relaxed and composed, given that she's potentially going to get a second podium of the day here on her Senior World Cup debut. Well, high fives all around, and that is why it's not only good enough for the podium, it's good enough for silver. And Hribar has been demoted off the podium. Yang Fan Yuwei, top of the pile from the People's Republic of China. Claire Pease sneaking into the silver medal position, and Tian Fan having to settle for the bronze medal. The most disappointment will come in the hands of Lucia Hribar from Slovenia, just missing out on the podium. Well, now we move on to the women's vault medal ceremonies. A performance from the top draw for Pranati Nayak from India to take the bronze medal. Parking from the volcanic island of Hawaii, 16-year-old Claire Pease has erupted onto the world stage with silver, but it's her teammate from Bellevue, Washington, just 17 years old, Jayla Hang, who's collected the women's vault gold medal here in Antalya. Fantastic performance from the USA was to be expected. A 17-year-old taking gold in Jayla Hang. Claire Pease just 16 with the silver. India's 28-year-old Nayak completing the podium.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Now we start for the golden horse.
We move straight on to the medal ceremony for the women's uneven bars. China's Tian Fan, just 16 years old, taking the bronze. It's the second medal of the day for the USA's 16-year-old Claire Pease, as she took the silver on her World Cup debut. But top of the pile for the Chinese team, Yang Fan Yuwei from Yunnan. She's been here before in Antalya, but never medaled. She's left it to a World Cup debut to go top of the pile. World Cup debut also for the USA athlete Claire Pease with silver. What a performance here from her. And at just 16, Tian completing the podium. Well, China ruling the roost in the women's uneven bars. Yang with the gold, Tian with bronze. And Claire Pease is the story of the day today so far in Antalya, her second medal in the women's apparatus at the artistic gymnastics, and she's just 16 years old.